Hello, everybody. I feel this instinctual need to put earbuds in my ears, even though I'm not going to be talking with anybody. I mean, like, I'm not going to be having a verbal exchange with anybody, so there's no need. But I'm so used to it because I always have them plugged into my ears whenever I'm working at my computer, which is all the time. So this is sort of a recappy video about DragonCon 2025, like how I did for LitRPG Con and then San Diego Comic Con. I feel that it's kind of the easiest way to share my freshest memories about it. Instead of sitting down and doing a video and putting all that effort into it. I mean, I did a video for the 2023 Dragon Con and I never even ended up putting it up because it was just too much mess and hassle and everything. I could have done this last week, but I didn't really decide to do it fully until today or last night, and it was too busy last week anyway. Super, super busy. By the time I got home, it was just like, oh, so much to do. Because, you get behind on things whenever you travel out of town like that or take any time off. So I'll go through some of your comments before I start sharing pictures. I'm not going to share any videos because I have a lot of videos, but maybe I'll do some sort of video of my video, just like putting all my videos together. Not putting much editing effort into it, just kind of throwing it up there. But yes, Enigma. Yeah, they still didn't listen to me, and several of them got sick. Whatever. I got sick last year coming back from Dragon Con because, and I know exactly why. And it wasn't because I, didn't get enough rest or went crazy with drinking or anything, because I don't do that. I'm not a social drinker. It was because Sunday night we had an event, same event we had this past time. And I spent so much time, because I was one of the people on the bingo card at the event. At the event. Boy, that sounds real Southern. At the event. And they had to come find me and tell me their favorite movie. And I talked to a lot of people about movies. The one movie that came up the most, as far as people's favorites, was The Princess Bride. That stuck in my brain. And I just did a lot of talking, stripped my throat. Whenever that happens, I will almost always get sick if I don't pay attention to how my throat is feeling. And I had to keep talking because that was like part of the event. And yeah, on the way home, I could tell the night before we left, it was happening. And on the way home, I sneezing in the car and I gave it to Arturo. So, but that didn't happen this year. I fortunately at the event this year, I did not have to talk as much. I was very happy about that. Hello, Sashi. How are you doing, man from the future? How's tomorrow looking? Hopefully good. What, you put your earbuds on? Is that what you're talking about, Corey? It's habit. When I first started doing videos on YouTube, reviews, reactions, whatever, I used my earbud microphones. And then after I got something better, this microphone, I kept forgetting to remove my earbuds when I would start to record a video because I just always have them in my ears. Anyway, so sometimes I still will do that. No, it's not super close. Unless I'm missing something that you're referring to. All right. As Corey says, highs back and forth. Wait. Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were referring to the fact that you guys were actually going to meet. So I was like, for some reason, that's how I read that. Whatever. Did you ever find his brother? You must let us know the moment you find Sashi's brother. Sashi, if your brother is still in Atlanta. Enigma and your brother need to try to say hi to each other. No, I didn't. I'm not a dragon rider. I'm more like if I'm going to be any sort of character like that, I'd be more like a a vampire or a beast master, like the avatar that I have on my business card. I don't know if I've shown you guys my business card, but my business card it's a beast master, but my brother drew a Beastmaster avatar for me that I like more than my business card avatar. I did tell Matt Dinneman, the author of Dungeon Crawler Carl, over there, that because we were talking about potentially cosplaying as some of his characters next year if we go back. I assume we will. I said, now if you created a character that looked like Celine from Underworld, I might consider cosplaying, but I don't know that that's going to happen. He did mention one character to me that I could cosplay as, but the outfit looks way too hot. I don't know about that. I have a picture of that, actually. Someone cosplayed as this person. Hello, Deleted. How are you doing? Enigma says, I'm not a social drinker much either. Never saw the need for it, nor developed it the same. Coffee will get me... Well, coffee's just, I don't know. I love coffee, but it doesn't get me to do anything. But I do love coffee. So if I'm going to drink anything socially, it's usually going to be water or coffee. I'm so boring, I know. Let's see. Other people saying hi. I don't really, Chibi? Do you really want to, or are you just playing? Come here. Come on. You little stinker. She comes over here acting like she's... I was all comfortable. And she comes over here acting like she wants to get up in my chair. And then she just looks at me like I'm a dope or something. Okay. Hi, Sergeant. How are you doing? Sashi, by the way, Sin, there was a YouTuber that does videos on veterans that wanted to set up a book club and had a few authors to chat with. I told her about you. She might contact you, Sam Wolf. I did see your comment on my YouTube studio, but YouTube studio is weird, or I saw part of your comment. YouTube studio is weird, and sometimes it won't let me expand comments, and I don't always respond to comments on YouTube studio, so I didn't have a chance to respond to it. So thanks for bringing that up. Again, thank you, Deleted. I'll let you do that for me. I never ask people to do that. They always say you're supposed to, but it just doesn't feel normal or natural to me. So my business, Chibi, do you want to? Come on. Come on. All right. Yes, she did. All right. Let me turn you around. You got to get situated. Oh no, this is going to be one of those times I can tell. She's going to probably turn around and put her paws up on my face. Okay. My business is that I work in the audiobook industry. I'm with a company called Sound Booth Theater, and we do a lot of excellent audio productions, if I do say so myself. And yeah, it's just, it's another form of storytelling, audiobooks, books, reading, movies, things like that. So it kind of ties in with the whole reason for my channel, which is to talk about stories, which is what I love to do. Okay, so because of the work I'm involved in, I've gotten to do some pretty fun things, like went to San Diego Comic-Con, met some cool people there, Andy Weir and Ray Porter, and LitRPG Con, where I met Jonathan McClain, who is an actor and one of the writers of the movie The Outfit, which I did talk about. And Dragon Con, of course, get to go to do things like that. And we happen to be getting more and more attention now because of one particular book series called Dungeon Crawler Carl, which has garnered a lot of attention. The TV show is in the works. It's got widespread appeal to people that aren't necessarily interested in that genre, which is LitRPG. Felicia Day loves the book. She wants to work on the audiobook at some point, or one of our audio immersion, audio dramas that we do for the books. We're getting ready to start releasing season 2, which is book 2. So yeah, that's it's grown like crazy. The cosplayers that were at Dragon Con for this book series specifically, insane. It was cool to see that at San Diego because there were several. And while I was at San Diego, my daughter was going to a con as well, and she sent me a picture of some cosplayers dressed as Carl. So it's crazy. It's been pretty cool. It's been pretty interesting to see this happen. To see the attention that Jeff gets, he's my boss, to see the attention that Matt Dinneman gets, to see it from the other side, like not as a fan. Yeah, it's been great. Sashi, I don't do social drinking anymore. I have a high alcohol tolerance. I would be sober and everyone would be drunk. And it's like herding cats. Oh my gosh. It's like herding cats, trying to get a bunch of voice actors together to work on a particular part, get everybody's schedules lined up. Oh my gosh, that is so... Ugh. Yes, little Chibi. She's just sitting here. She's not lying down. I don't know why. She's just sitting. Sin is getting to the 30K subs. Congrats. We need a small party stream. Get the family sharing fun, Sin Real. I don't know. It just... One of my main goals was to get to 30,000 because I wanted to then apply to be a Rotten Tomatoes critic. But apparently, even though it's on some areas of their website, they say it's 30,000. Now it's actually really, as of a few years back, it's really 200,000. There are some critics who have gotten accepted without having that, and it has to do with like maybe whether they want to make an exception for, I don't know. I don't know why they would make exceptions, but sometimes they do. So I think I'm still going to try to apply. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Pie in the Sky is Critics' Choice, but I don't know that will ever happen, or if it does, it won't be anytime soon. Okay, so Dragon Con. I have a bunch of pictures. I went through and deleted a whole bunch that I didn't want to necessarily show because some of them were pictures taken from Arturo's camera, and he took probably more than 1,000. So I'm not showing that many, but I'll go ahead and just add to the stage the first day. This is Wednesday. We went there Wednesday. So this was us coming into Atlanta. And one of the first things we did when we got there was we went to this bookstore. I can't remember the name of the bookstore, but I think it's in Decatur. And Matt had a reading there. He had like it was full. They had to turn people away at the door. But he did this last year and it was also full. And it was like a reading. Jeff did a little bit of a reading there. And also there was another author, and his name is Will White. He was there too. So the reason I took a picture of this is because I think I had asked where the restroom was or something, and they pointed me, because when we first got there, they let us go through the crowd and back in the back room where Matt and Jeff and others were waiting, or Matt was waiting, Jeff was with us. So this was like the back room. Behind George R.R. Martin was the bathroom. I just thought that was funny. So I shared that picture. I mean, I decided to take the picture. Okay, you guys are talking back and forth. I don't want to miss anything. Rotten Tomatoes keeps extending that Yeah, I know. It's annoying. Yeah, it was rotten. Yeah, it is rotten. I don't know. Whatever. I'm still going to do what I do. And even if I got accepted, I'm not going to change the way I talk about movies. I'm just not going to do that. So, I don't know. Okay, this was the back room. This right here is, it's so weird because on the screen I'm looking at, my mouse is in a totally different place than it is on the shared screen. But this is Matt Dinneman here. This fellow right here is Seth Fishman. It's either his lawyer or his agent. I can't remember. I think this guy right here is, I don't remember if that's Will White or not, but this shirt he's wearing is from Matt's book. It's something that the AI says, new achievement. But the way Jeff says it is funny. There's, of course, Arturo. I can't remember who this guy is. We ended up, before the event started, we ended up talking about movies, and we talked about weapons. That was one of the first things that came up because it's still fresh on my mind. And this author here, he was saying how he didn't like it, and Matt and I were getting on his case. Blurry picture of Matt and Jeff talking. Okay, this is the bookstore before the event started. Yeah, very full. People were still outside on the sidewalk because they would only let a certain amount of people in. This particular, I took this picture because this is a character from the book, Prepotente. I don't know all the characters, you guys. The only book I worked on all the way through was book 7. I had started proofing maybe part of book 2, but got pulled away for another project. So I haven't listened to all these books. Book 7 is the only one I've listened to all the way through. So I probably should get on it because I'm probably going to proof all the rest of the books in the series. Oh, really? You know what, Sashi? So I use the Brave browser. This is probably not a great thing for me, a YouTuber, to be telling you guys because, you know, I do depend on ad revenue. But I use the Brave browser. And Rotten Tomatoes doesn't give me an issue at all. And it's got ad blockers kind of built, it's integrated into the browser. And I've never had an issue with Rotten Tomatoes. So maybe, I don't know, try that. Yes, we do have very committed fans. It is very cool to see their passions and how excited they are about this book series. I mean, it's amazing how many people love this thing. It's crazy to me. It's so crazy to me. It's so funny. So yeah, that was the bookstore event. Arturo, I think I can't remember if I took this picture or Arturo took this picture. This is from our the hotel room. We stayed at the Hilton Garden Inn, so we had to. I don't know if you can see the Westin from here. We would walk to the Westin or the Hyatt Regency. Yeah, we were right beside the aquarium, which was where we had the event in 2023. LitRPG Under the Sea is what we called it, and then we ended up having the event at DragonCon. So, okay, this question. You guys, you want to get down? Oh, yeah, she's so fickle sometimes. Okay, this question here. I took a picture of this. I think this was in the lobby before we went to go to the Westin. For $125,000. I knew the answer to this as soon as I read it. So it says, the stress of this show might cause you to suffer bruxism, a condition where a person subconsciously does what? Holds their breath, excessively sweats, shakes their leg, or grinds their teeth. We've had rats. I knew exactly what this was as soon as I saw this. You know, these people on here, they had to call a friend. And after that process, they ended up deleting A and B, so they had 2 more to choose from, C or D. And they still chose wrong. No. Answer to that, no. Answer to that, no. Yeah. I would have totally won that $125,000, y'all, because it grinds your teeth. Because rats do this thing. I can't remember if I mentioned this in that video that I did about rats years back. Rats will grind their teeth because their teeth are always growing, so they're always doing stuff to kind of like keep them filed down. And one of the things they do is they grind their teeth. And when they grind their teeth, it does these like strange muscle contractions in their face that or reach up to their eyes, and their eyes go like that. They kind of bulge in and out. It's the wildest looking thing, but that's called bruxing. So, you know, you own rats and you learn you learn a few things. Sashi said, I whitelist YouTubers for the YouTube for the creators. However, I will not support a site that's clearly corporate sponsored. I get that. I understand that. Okay, so this was on the way over to the Westin, and I had to take a picture of the Olympic rings. We had to walk through Centennial Olympic Park, which was where the bombing happened, I believe. I believe that's where the bombing happened in '96. I remember when that happened. So I thought that was cool. And Justin noticed. He said, every time I try to get a good picture of this, I always see that sign. That guy has the perfect advertising because it's always going to show up in the pictures. Anyway, it was funny. So this was the next day. Obviously, this was Thursday. What were we coming here to do? I can't remember because I got my badge in the morning. Justin and Jeff got my badge for me because we had like a sponsor badge. And we had to later go pick up Arturo's badge because we wanted to go to Chris Gore's panel at like 7 or 7:30. And the badge line was horrifically long. We did end up finally getting it, made it to the panel okay, but I don't remember what we were doing here. I know what we were doing here. We walked here to go to get his badge. This was the area we walked through. We went to go get his badge, but we saw the line wrapped all the way and more around the building, and we were told it was going to be at least a 2-hour late. I was like, screw that. We'll come back later. If we have to, we'll just borrow someone else's badge, go to Chris's panel, then we'll go back. Because it's open pretty late for badge pickup. But we didn't have to borrow anybody's badge, fortunately. But yeah, that wait was still long. That's a better shot of the Olympic rings. Yeah. Maybe we were on our way back to the hotel or something. We came here for, I think this was where Chris's panel was. It was in the Hyatt, in one of the lower levels. And so we were going through the lobby and we saw these. Arturo took pictures of these. This was, I don't know, just some pictures. Okay. So I integrated his pictures and my pictures and arranged them by date. So his stuff should be completely integrated with mine. But this was Chris's first panel. He was dead tired. He kept falling asleep in the panel. He had just gotten there with his girlfriend, and he kept dozing off. It was funny. Oh, you're talking about her grinding her teeth. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there were a couple. There was one there, and then there were 2 types of R2 units inside a van as we were going into the Hyatt. And this was on the way back. And this was the next day. So I think here, maybe this is when this would have been Friday. We were waiting in line. I can't remember if I'd gone to Jeff's panel yet, because I was trying to go to a lot of Jeff's panels. And also Chris Gore's panels when I could. Was able to talk with him a few times there. I can't remember if this might have been being in line for Jim Butcher and the actor who played in the show. They had a panel together. That was the only Jim Butcher panel I went to. So Enigma, this is cosplay from Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is his outfit. When the apocalypse happened, he was only wearing these boxers. I think initially nothing up here, and barefooted. He eventually picked up Crocs. He's got these knee guards here. And this cat right here is Princess Donut. She is the star of the show, of the story. And Jeff does her voice really, really well. My mom is actually working on making a pair of huge boxers, like 4x6, to hang above our booth whenever we go to cons, like let's say Planet Comic Con or wherever we have a booth. Hang it up there. Everyone in the room will know exactly what that means, and they'll know where we are. He was dozing off in his first panel, and that's because he had just gotten in. I had seen on his, I don't know, Instagram or Twitter or whatever, pictures of him being on the plane earlier that day, so he had probably had I don't know if he had an early flight or whatever. He was very, very tired. Yeah. So, but he managed to stay awake for all his other panels. He was fine. It was just that it must have been a really long day. Here's Arturo, obviously, Michael standing in line. I'm pretty sure this was for the butcher panel. Pretty sure, because there's always a line for the butcher panel. I shared this already. Yes, this is definitely the Jim Butcher panel. Because I remember putting his face, I put his mask down, and Arturo wanted to turn it over, so I had to see his face. Yeah, so this is someone that was cosplaying, brought up a skull of Bob from the Dresden Files. If you know anything about that, you know what Bob is. Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. Oh my gosh, I thought I deleted all those extra pictures. Oh shoot, I guess I didn't. There's quite a few extra. I think his name is Paul Blackthorne. I think. He was not someone I had in mind for Harry Dresden. The show was okay. They didn't do the best with it, but it was. I didn't hate it. I did end up buying all of the first and only season on Vudu yesterday or the day before. And of course, there's Jim. Jim, the little snot, he ended up going with graphic audio for the audio drama versions of Dresden Files, even though I had been stalking him for years at DragonCon, giving him some of our what I call cassette drives. They look like cassettes, but they're really USB. And I finally mustered up the nerves to talk to him in 23. And then in 24, I approached him a couple more times, gave him another tape. In 23, I gave him a tape. 24, I gave him a tape. That was when Dee was with me. I crawled across. I had to get up on the stage and kind of crawl a little bit on my knees to go over to his table. It was ridiculous. But I didn't give him a tape this year because he went with somebody else. Why do that when he's already made his choice? I guess he felt more confident going with someone big and something like a company big and corporate as opposed to Sound Blue Theater. We would have done a better job. We would have. I listened to a sample of it. We would have done a better job. I read a Dresden File graphic novel a long time ago. I love the Dresden Files. I'm about 4 or 5 books behind though, but I love those books. Yeah, but it wasn't too hot. It was okay. Yeah, I know, right? I have such good memories about that, you guys. I'm so glad I made that video. Because it's funny because I met someone that cosplays as Carl from Dungeon Crawler Carl, but also cosplays as Butcher. And he looks kind of like him. And I told him, I was thinking you look familiar. And I think I've seen him before at DragonCon. But we struck up a conversation. And we were talking about Terminator, of course. Anyway. How dare, right? Exactly. My thoughts exactly, Sashi. I wanted to work with him so much. We actually had sort of developed a plan to take a portion of one of his books and create a little sample for him. But that had been something given to me to sort of head up, and I'm not super creative. So I kept letting the ball drop on that. And then, he had told me last year they were thinking of doing audio drama, but I had given him already samples of what we could do. So, oh well, maybe he felt like graphic audio would have more reach. But no, they would have come to us because it's Jim Butcher. All right, whatever, I'm ranting. More pictures. These were more cosplayers we saw. This is Princess Donut here. And this is Mongo, her Velociraptor. And this was a Michael Myers in pink that we saw when we were going down the road. So, of course, I had to get them to get a picture together. This was one of Jeff's panels. This was something about voice acting. The lady sitting beside him, this woman here, she does work with us. That's Jessica Threet. More pictures. Oh my gosh, I thought I deleted more. Sorry. Arturo would stalk people, and he just went up to this girl and was staring at her, and she reached in her little, like she had this pack on the side around her hips, and she gave him something, and he just, he does his thing, and he'll probably make a video. See, look here, more cosplayers. This particular guy here, he told me So he got these fake feet, and he told me he was going to get Matt to sign them because Matt wouldn't sign his real feet. And I was talking about that with Matt. And he's like, "No, I'm not going to sign his feet," but he did sign those. Michael, here we are at the Westin. Enigma, the Westin. If you know the Westin on Peachtree, it's like where they have this bar area, but there's a bunch of places to sit around and work or whatever. And there's the Starbucks right there as well. So if you get too drunk, you can just go get a coffee, I guess. So a lot of times we hang out there in between, like when there's a bunch of time to kill. That's just kind of the hangout spot for the authors and the voice actors and a lot of people. A couple of years ago, I think maybe, was it 23? Monica Baccarin was there. Justin, so I think she like was sitting next to him at the bar or something. He didn't get a picture though, unfortunately. Here's Arturo just stalking some more. Stalking. I got him a new mask, 2 new masks. So this was, I can't remember if this was Friday or Saturday, but there was a cosplay meetup. You know how they meet up and do the photo shoots and stuff? So we went there and there were like more than 500 people here. Here we are making our way through the crowd. This is Jacob, our tech guy. There's Jeff. There's me. Of course, when people saw that Jeff was coming, oh, the hooting and hollering. It's like, Jeff, you're going to let it go to your head. You're going to start floating up in the air because you're going to get so big headed. We have to pull you down by your feet. No, he's not. He's totally grounded. But look at all these people. And I met one of Matt's daughters. She was there. And I think while we were standing here, this is me taking a picture. While we were standing here, Matt yelled out, "Hey, Sin!" I was like, "Yes, what? Is that the girl behind you with the unicorn thing? That's my daughter." So I got to meet one of his kids. I would not be surprised if one of my students was there. Probably. Yeah. Oh, you mean this meetup? Okay, ask your student if they read Dungeon Crawler Carl. Ask, seriously, and then let me know what the student says. So this is just Jeff being silly. Jeff, Matt. More pictures. That's just me here taking more pictures. Okay, here's the Carl Urban lookalike guy, sorta kinda. So yeah. We got, and then later he came to the event we did on Saturday night and we were talking some more about movies. I gave him my Sins Corner card in case he was interested to watch any of my reviews. Okay. That's cool. See, I'm telling you, it's just like one of our friends that we met here, he had heard of that book, which was funny. One of my cousins, his friend is reading the book. That's the guy I took the book to Denver and got Matt to autograph. And anyway, okay, so here they were getting together for the Carl shoot. There were so many people here, and it was so loud. Just more pictures. Yeah, I put in a lot of pictures here. I mean, look, there were people way back here, all these people here, and then I think maybe I've already shown like a picture of the crowd on the other side too. I can't remember. Maybe was Matt getting ready? No, he just came over and was talking with the people. I'm just going to go through these pretty quickly. This is Princess Donut. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Is Jeff in this picture? Yeah, there's Jeff. There he is. There's Matt. Okay. There were just like so many people even on this other side to and the crowd went way back to the street. It's where there's like these arches on the side. I couldn't tell you the street name. I recognized it every time we went past it after that. Okay. So funny. So funny how fast all of this has happened, you guys. It's insane. I think the first book was published in 20 or 21, and now he's 7 books in. Book 8 is getting ready to come out. Well, going to come out next year, I think. And yeah, it's crazy. I think he's planning 10 books. This is where he was getting ready to leave because he had to go either to a signing or a panel or whatever. His panels were always full to overflowing, and they had to cut people off from coming. So Jeff stayed behind a little bit. This is the cosplay I was telling you about that Matt had suggested that I could wear. It's the character of Lucia Marr. It's a cool cosplay. It looks like way too much work. I don't have time for that. I mean, if someone made it for me, I might would wear it, but it also looks extremely hot. Now here, I don't know what the heck Jeff was doing. Like he was lapping his drink up or something, or either he had drunk some and then he spit it back out and he was drinking it up again. So I think we have a video of us. We're like, Jeff, what are you doing? And then, of course, he's laughing because we were like disgusted at his behavior. Oh, you know what? Enigma, there are so many pictures that we took. Well, that Arturo took much more than me. A lot of these pictures are his. I could like email them to you or something if you want to look, if you want to just crawl through the pictures or share them with your friend and see if they can spot them, their own self. I've been watching the anime My Dress Up Darling recently. It's all about cosplay. Okay. I haven't heard of that, but I bet my kids have. Adding to the list, there was a show when I was in middle school that was anime of 2 alien beings that were the pets of a specific girl. I can't remember that anime. I was going to say, was it Parasite? But then when you said they were pets of a specific girl, that didn't sound like that. I liked Parasite, and I liked the live action version of it too. So this is Lucia Marr, this character. I mean, it's cool, but you know that because Dungeon Crawler Carl hasn't reached, like, let's say Spider-Man status or Superman status, there's no Dungeon Crawler Carl cosplay outfit that you can buy. These people have to make their own. So the work that went into making this thing, there's not, I don't have time or the artistic talent to do this. So it's not happening. But anyway, just more. This was funny. They got this little kid to come up, and she was Princess Donut. See, she has the tiara and the little cat ears. And it was funny. They were having her like pretend like she was going to fight because I don't remember if Lucia Marr is good or bad. I don't recall. So yeah, it's cool. Just way too hot. Now this cosplay was cool. You can't really see it though because of the reflection on the thing, but inside this was like some sort of alien worm thing that was just dangling around in there. It was cool. Don't know how they did it, but it was cool. Here, everything is wrapping up, and he's getting pictures with the people that were organizing it, using the megaphones to get everyone in line. Oh, this was a picture that Matt took. Obviously, I stole this off his Facebook page. So, I won't get in trouble. He's fine. But I just thought that was a cool shot that someone took of him taking a selfie with all the Carls behind him. I like that picture. So here we went to Billy Zane's panel. Billy Zane did not want anybody taking videos or whatever, which was strange because a few years back when I went to his panel when he was at MyCon, he was perfectly fine with it, but apparently when he came back to that con and in Dragon Con, he was just like, he didn't want people taking any videos. He wasn't ugly about it, but it was just, I was like, well, that's different. Okay. My Dress Up Darling is about an awkward traditional dude who's good at stitching stuff. He meets a girl who is hopeless at dressmaking. He's thrown into awkward situations out of his comfort zone. That sounds like something that my daughter might like because she likes to cosplay. Actually, my son does too, Arturo as well. Hey, Logical. How are you doing? Just sharing pictures of Dragon Con. What was this day? What was going on here? I don't remember if this was Sunday. I don't recall. I think the Billy Zane panel was Saturday, so this might have been the cosplay meetup. Might have been Saturday. Archer's just taking a picture of himself. Okay, all right. The cosplay meetup would have been Friday because this was Saturday morning. I remember because Arturo likes to go into the vendor's mart. The badge he has is a regular badge, so he couldn't get in easily. He'd have to wait in this long line. We had stuff to do though, and the day before, Jeff had gotten Arturo in and Ryan in because Jeff had a pro badge, and they'll let you bring some people. Some people will let you bring some extra people in with you. Some people won't. It's weird. It's kind of like a roll of the dice. So I asked Matt if he could help Arturo get in Saturday morning. So we met him in the morning before 10, and they tried to go in the front door like what Jeff had done the day before, but they said, no, you have to go around the loading dock area. So when they came back out, I was like, you know what? I'll just go in with you too, because it's like an hour and a half before Jeff's panel. I don't have anything else to do. So I went in with them, and we went in through the loading dock, and Matt was like, these are my people. They're with me. And they gave us a sticker to put on the back of my my badge, which means I could then walk in anytime I wanted to, but I don't care about the vendor smart. So I didn't go back. I just, there's so much here, you guys. This was, we went into Chris's panel. It was a panel about Blumhouse. Really good panel. Loved it. This was where they have the horror track in the Westin, up in one of the top levels of the Westin, like the main area, not top levels where the rooms are and everything. So yeah, this was before the panel. Got a picture of, so there were all these people here. Really liked this panel. It was a fun discussion. Got me excited about watching movies all over again, like all of these types of panels do. Chris did not fall asleep. This was another panel we went to. I can't remember if this was Sunday. Oh, y'all, my days are running together because I can't remember if this was Saturday night or Sunday. I can't remember when I said goodbye to Chris. I think I said goodbye to Chris on... Shoot, I can't remember if it was Saturday or Sunday now. I'd have to look at the dates on the on the pictures. But I went to one of Chris's last panels, went to Jeff's, left that. I think it was Sunday. Anyway, at some point we were killing time, and so we went to this thing about cinematography or something. It was interesting. I don't remember where we were walking here, but Arturo thought that was a cool image. Here, there was just, he took a picture of ambulance there. Okay, so this picture, I need to explain this. This would have been Saturday. All of that stuff I was mentioning, all of this was Saturday then. Hold on. I'm going to minimize because first, before I show you all those pictures, I need to explain this. This is annoying. Okay, so hold on. All right, here we go. So this picture right here. So, make it bigger. Sorry, hold on. All right, so this picture right here. Saturday night, during like, or right before supper, we had like a dinner. Right before the supper, haven't gotten to the supper pictures yet. We found out that this guy that we have, our very first con that we went to, we met this guy dressed up as a cool Joker. And that was 2014. The con was new to us, so I'm taking pictures of everything. And I was like, oh, that's such a cool cosplay. Found out that was his first, we didn't know this until later, but that was his first con too. So then I started to see him like the next year, saw him again, saw him at another con, saw him at this other con. So eventually Never knew what he looked like because his face was always, he always had this, the Joker stuff on his face. So I never knew what he looked like. And then one year this anime con, I'm walking by and someone just reaches out and grabs my arm. And I turn around and he's talking, but I couldn't hear him good. And he's just saying something. And I was like, is this you? And I said his name. I'm not going to say his name in case he doesn't want his name said. But he took his mask off and I was like, oh, your face. I saw his face. He didn't have any makeup on. So we made it like anytime we were at the same con, we would always try to see each other and say hi. So we've been doing that for many, many years. So we saw him on Saturday night after we got back from supper. Artur and I traipsed on over to the Marriott, which is where he was. We talked for, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so. And then we were going to, we didn't want to keep him too long. And he found out that we had walked and he laughed uproariously. And he said, you're not walking back. I'm going to drive you back. so he drove us back and he was letting us out at the hotel. And we got, of course, the obligatory picture. So now let me show you so what I did was I went and I found all these other pictures, not all because I feel like I'm missing a couple of them, but I decided to go back and just show you kind of the history of us knowing him. I noticed that too. I thought that was pretty funny. I almost took a picture of just the head by itself, but I didn't. Okay, so this was the first year, and then this was the next year, 2015, and I recognized him and he just stuck his tongue out at me. I thought I had a picture of, yes, okay, so Aurelie was the only one that cosplayed, so I took a picture of both of them together. So it became a thing, like to always take a picture of them. I've never taken a picture with him. I never cosplay. So then this is 2015. It was, I don't know. I just love his cosplay. So here, Aurelia, she's cosplaying again. So here they're taking a picture. This is 2016 at another con completely. It was like in January. And we saw him walking by. I'm like, you're that guy. And then this was later, another year, like later in 2016, I think. And then this is 2017, I think. See, we just kept, this might be 2018. Maybe this was 2018 also. This was 22 or 21. This was when the con started opening back up, but you still had to wear a mask. So yeah, I thought that would be cool to like show all the history of all those pictures. What was this? I think maybe this is when we were on our way to our Saturday dinner. Yes, because this is our Saturday dinner. So this here is Ben Wolf, one of the authors we work with. This is Ryan H. Reed, super talented narrator. Love him. Great guy. He's on our live stream movie discussions, which we were having another on Wednesday. I just haven't gotten it prepared. Obviously, there's Matt. This is Becca, one of our narrators. This is Aaron, our tech guy. Jacob, our tech guy, because right next to him is Aaron J. Morton. He's Chris Stockman's friend. Did the music for Chris's videos. Also did some work on Shelby Oaks. Was supposed to score the whole thing, but he didn't have a big enough name. They wanted to get other people. Right here, the blonde is Annie Ellicott. You can't see her face. This is, right next to her is Emily. Then there's Jeff. Jeff had to leave early to go to a panel. And then, of course, there's Justin. So that's our group. More pictures. More pictures. Okay, so this is me. I'm starting to get weary and I am ready to be done. I'm ready to, and they're talking about dessert and I'm like, I am so ready to go. Me, still ready to go. So finally, Aaron, he got up and said something about, if I was down for leaving early, he was wanting to go because whatever. So then several of us left, fortunately. And that gave us plenty of time to go meet up with our friend later that I already showed you a picture of. This was us walking to the Marriott to meet up with him. This was Sunday morning. This is for Nadia. when she found out I was going to be here and Jim Butcher was going to be here, she asked if I could get a book signed for her husband. So when we went to that bookstore for Matt's thing on Wednesday, I was looking for the first book. They didn't have the first book in hardcover, so I bought it in paperback. And I got up super early. No, not super early. But his signing was at 11:30, but it's Jim Butcher. So I knew there was going to be a line, but I also had things I had to do later that afternoon, so I couldn't spend a lot of time. So I got up and I made sure I was there before 10. So I waited in line like an hour and a half plus. I was the first one there for him. But I was also one of the first. I was able to, get him to sign this. And I sent this picture to Nadia. She was very happy about that. I went up to Jim and I said, because he recognized me when we went to his panel with the actor, he saw me and he recognized me because I had approached him last year and had talked to him in that very same room. And I said I was going to accost him and give him something from, our company. So he recognized my face. He probably had a flash of panic that I was going to approach him again or whatever. But I just went up and I said, I'm not here to give you grief about going with graphic audio instead of sound booth theater. And he said, okay. I said, but, I promised my friend I'd try to get you to sign something for her husband. So he said, what's his name? And I said, oh, I thought you weren't personalizing, because they had initially said he didn't have time for personalization. He only has an hour. All he can do is sign his name. But he signed, maybe he felt bad about the graphic audio thing. So he signed this. So I sent this off to Nadia last week. This is Monday. Yeah. Sent it off to Nadia last week. One of Jeff's panels, this is called the I Am Not Matt Dinneman panel. And of course, Matt Dinneman comes in. It was just for fun. This was not a panel about him. It was about other authors because, Matt gets all the attention. But anyway, okay, so I want to just check some comments. Yeah, that's a great. He doesn't do the Joker anymore. Right? It was so good. The one where he's sticking out his tongue, I think that's the best. That year he looked the most, because the year before he was a little younger, and in 2015, he had thinned out some in his face and his hair was the perfect style. So I thought that one was the best. So I got into voice acting because I wanted to become an audiobook narrator, and I mostly narrated just nonfiction. I've done maybe 2 or 3 short stories, and that's it, because I recognize I am not an actor, and I also do not have the passion to become an actor. But what happened was I met Jeff Hayes. I had gotten on a mailing list to get different audiobooks for free in exchange for a review. Through the course of that, I met Jeff Hayes. Then we connected on Facebook. And then after I listened to one of his audiobooks, I told my brother Tim, I think I found your narrator for your second book. Jeff did Tim's book. And after that book was published in late 2016, Jeff wrote me on Facebook and asked if I wanted to be his audiobook narrator. Proofer, his audiobook proofer, because before that he'd been doing all of that himself, but he was getting to the point where he was getting so much work, he needed some help. And so he reached out to me because he'd worked on this book for my brother, and I had edited that book, and it was apparently one of the cleaner books that he'd worked on as far as grammar and typos and stuff, because up until that point, a lot of the stuff he'd worked on wasn't very well edited. So the rest is kind of history. It was Jeff and me before it was even Sound Booth Theater, and then the next year he officially became Sound Booth Theater, and then we started expanding, and now we're just, to me, we're almost too big. It's there's a lot of people now that I don't know very much at all, because it's grown so much. And I don't want us to lose this small family feel that we have. I hope that never happens. So, okay. Oh yes, that's right. Annie did some work for Arturo. Okay. All right. See you later. You're probably gone already, but thanks for stopping by, Deleted. Appreciate that. One of the biggest game releases recently had a soundtrack that was composed by an unknown. They went with him after hearing his stuff. The soundtrack became big too. Oh, that's cool. Make sure I'm not. I am trying to do a couple projects. I will be happy to send you one. I am hoping to get complete pretty soon. You mean like a book? Not that I'm interested in your story, but I meant the plural you as in you. Oh, okay. Not that I'm not interested. Oh, sorry. So obviously we get asked this question a lot. One of the things I would recommend is if you've not taken acting classes, take some acting classes. I never did because I just didn't care enough to pursue that line of it. I much prefer working behind the scenes like I do. Take acting classes. It's not, obviously, you don't have to. Jeff didn't, but he's just like very gifted. Find a quiet place to record some voice work in, like your closet is the best place. Get yourself a decent microphone. It doesn't even have to be very expensive. Your room is the most important thing. Practice reading. Practice. Record yourself. Listen to yourself enough to where it doesn't make you want to throw up to keep hearing your voice, and you just start to clinically analyze what your performance is like. And then go on ACX and start auditioning for anything you're interested in, but pretty much everything, because what you're going to find is you can easily pick up some projects on ACX, but you're not necessarily going to get paid. A lot of them are royalty shares because they are new authors that don't have the money to hire someone to do their audiobook on a per finished hour basis. It's expensive. But you will get a lot of practice that way. And then maybe eventually you'll just find your stride and things will just pick up from there. It's a lot of work, So yeah, like I said, I prefer the behind the scenes stuff. A small book on C.S. Lewis. It's small, but I know your passion comes out in grammar and speech, and of course it's hard to know who to have. Okay, yeah, send it over. Okay. If it's nonfiction and doesn't require character voices, I would even offer to narrate it for you. But it's a bit of a process. So, okay. All right, let's continue. Just more of this panel. Matt. Where were we walking to here? I can't remember if where. Oh, we were going to the Westin is what it was. We were going to the Westin because Arturo was going to meet up with a former coworker that had worked at the theater with him. So here we are waiting for him, and his friend showed up. D ended up meeting me at the other hotel because he wanted to do an interview with me. And we realized that the Westin lobby was not a good place to do that. They did have a little, like a quiet room you could go in and it would block out all the noise, but that was only for people that were staying there. We were not staying at the Westin, so couldn't do it there. Anyway, this was after the interview. We're heading back downstairs. This is D, Movie Man. And we're heading back downstairs to meet up with the rest of my troupe because we had this event and D was going to get his ride to pick him up. And this is us in the lobby of our hotel here. He's wearing a shirt that he got from Anthony A. Perez's channel. A movie a day keeps reality away. I like that shirt so much I bought myself one too. So then Arturo's taking a picture of us taking our selfie. And this was at the event we had. We kind of did the same sort of thing as last year, bingo cards, and people had to come up and approach different people on the bingo cards. And then there was also a silent auction, just like there was last year. Matt won, like best, what was it? Best science fiction novel. Kevin J. Anderson was there again this year. I was not able to go to where he was. Like there was a panel I wanted to go to of his so I could say hi to him. But what happened? Oh, I got waylaid with the first day they went into the vendor mart. So I never saw Kevin again. Didn't see him. But he has something funny on his Facebook or Twitter page about he made a bet that he would win, and he won the bet, and the bet that he made was that he would lose to Matt Dinneman. So he has a picture of him and Matt, and I guess Matt's paying him the money because they made this bet. It was cute. I thought it was funny. This was like this plush whatever, supposed to be donut. Obviously doesn't look like donut, but they had a bunch of people autograph it, like people that worked on the audiobook, and I guess other, like maybe Matt. This looks like that says, I can't tell who that is. Anyway, whatever. The event took pictures of Michael skulking in the background. More skulking and more skulking. This is Justin. I think I took a picture because he was doing this really loud laugh that he was supposed to do in this character voice from, what's it called? Is it called Dead Tired, I think? So this is Annie. You couldn't see her face before, but there she is. She's the one who sings sometimes with Jeff Goldblum. She's super talented. She's so talented. It's ridiculous. And here's Michael skulking. You can't always see it because people would get in the way, but there he is again. And again. And I think I was just taking pictures here of just the overall crowd. And this wasn't even the busiest because I think it was fuller than this initially. Here's Jacob. He was in charge of taking pictures of the people that were on the bingo cards so they would know who to look for. We had some late turnouts, people that showed up late, so it was kind of hard for people to complete their bingo card when that happened. There he is taking a picture of... Actually, I think he was just taking a picture of these girls because he thought they were cute, not because they had to go up on the board, not because they were on the bingo card or anything. Okay, this is things drawn to a close. This was Princess Donut here, talking with Justin. And here we are leaving. And this is the next morning. This is when we left to go home. So that is all of that. I can't believe I got through them in only about an hour. Less than an hour, because I spent quite a bit of time talking. Yeah, I know. When he's in Michael mode, he won't talk, and it creeps some people out. He scared a couple of kids, I think. So yeah, that's recap of my time at Dragon Con. Don't think I'm going to any other cons this year. I don't think I'm going to Vegas this year. I think it's just Emily is going. Not sure if I'm going to go to Planet Comic Con because, well, I think Sound Booth is going to Planet Comic Con, which is in Kansas City, but Jeff and Matt will be traveling to England and maybe to Australia at that time. So they won't be there, but I don't know if I'm going there. I think they're going to Dragonstill. I'm not going to Dragonstill, but I think the boxers need to be done by then. So that just reminded me that I need to ask my mom about those boxers. So yeah, that's it for Dragon Con. Tomorrow night, I will be on Nadia's channel. We're going to be talking about The Conjuring, Last Rites, and just the Conjuring universe. She said we didn't have to rewatch all the movies, which is good because I don't have time to rewatch all the movies. So yeah. On Wednesday, going to be with Sound Booth Theater. I will also be streaming it to my channel, but we're going to be talking about Ferngully, What We Do in the Shadows, Sleepy Hollow, and 12 Monkeys. I have only fully watched one of these movies. I'm running out of time, you guys, because I'm also trying to finish watching Wayward, which is an upcoming Netflix series, so that I can get the review done for that. Maybe film that tomorrow or something. I don't know. I have so many things to watch. In fact, when I sign off from this, I'm going to try to finish the last episode of Wayward, try to finish 12 Monkeys. I've gotten started on 12 Monkeys, but I have not finished. Then that gives me just 2 days left. I can watch Ferngully one day, Sleepy Hollow another. So, yeah, I got a lot of things to see. And then on Thursday, I'm going to go see, oh shoot, what the heck? Why am I drawing a blank? I know exactly what this movie is, and I'm completely, whatever's coming out this weekend, I'm going to go see it on Thursday. Whoosh, that's bugging me. The Long Walk. Oh my gosh. Going to go see The Long Walk. And, yeah, so there's that. I think that's about it, honestly, as far as what's coming up with my channel. I have not seen Wednesday yet. I heard that this next season is darker, which appeals to me a little more. I've heard the show is good. I just haven't, it's really hard to commit to shows. I know I say that as I'm talking about a show I need to finish for Netflix, but that's because it's not out yet. So when I get those, I'm more inclined to go ahead and just finish. I'm also screening one on Apple TV. Oh, what's that one called? I can't remember what that one's called, but it's not coming out until October. But I am more inclined to watch shows when I get them early so that I can just get a review done. 12 Monkeys is so much fun. It was an amazing concept when it came out. Yeah, I have seen part of the show, never saw the movie, which surprises me. I think it's because the environment, it looks so dark and bleak, but I realize now that most of that is because it's taking place, some of that takes place in the future, which it kind of blows my mind that it's only supposed to be like 6 years in the future. And one of the complaints I already have is, how did they come up with the technology and the living conditions and everything that they have in 1996? How did they come up with all of that in such a short amount of time after the virus hit? Maybe I'm missing something. Okay. Fern Gully's, yeah. I've seen it. I just don't remember much about it. I've seen Sleepy Hollow. Had not seen What We Do in the Shadows. Oh, yeah. Oh, I keep forgetting that is out. I heard it's a prequel, so I am interested. I liked the first season. Right, that guy. What's his name? Kitsch. Right. I like him. He's a good actor. My dad is watching Wednesday. I've been lurking on the laptop while he watches it. I could be paranoid, but I feel like it might go astray. Like, oh no. Oh no, I hope not. I liked that it sounded like it was darker because there's like a serial killer or something like that, which, you know, that type of stuff is like, ooh, I'm interested. And then that's not just quirky comedy, you know, with her quirky self the way she is. But I don't know. Maybe one of these days I'll get around to watching it. But I'm not in a rush, honestly. There's just so much to see. And there's so much I want to see. So many other things I want to see. I still want to see, is it called the Eiger Sanction? Is that what it's called? The one with Clint Eastwood about the rock climbing? I still want to see that. I've been wanting to see that for years, and I have not gotten around to watching it. So much stuff. A lot. Wednesday first season was good. I'm in the middle of the second season. My students, almost. Yeah, you got to be careful about that. You need to tell them no talking, and you need to stay off social media. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, the Eiger, yes. Did Clint Eastwood direct that one too? I can't remember. So, all right. I don't think I have anything else to chat about specifically because this was really geared towards Dragon Con, and I think I want to start watching some stuff, try to get some stuff under my belt before the evening is done, before I start getting tired. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now. Thank you so much to everybody who turned in. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. My live streams like this typically draw in higher numbers than when I'm doing other live streams. You know, I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's just a little bit more casual or whatever. But I'm so glad you guys joined and was able to chat about Dragon Con with you. And now I've got this on record forever, so I won't forget. It was fun, Corey. if you ever decide you want to come to Dragon Con one year, let me know. Maybe we'll still be going. I feel like now it's sometimes we would go and it'd be like, well, we don't know if we're going to go next year. Well, we don't know. And then we would go. But now that LitRPG has really established itself as a big genre because those rooms are filling up and they have tracks dedicated to this. I feel like we're kind of synonymous with LitRPG, and so I think that our presence there is probably going to be almost. I don't want to, speak too far ahead of myself, but it feels like we'll be there next year, and if things continue to progress the way they do, probably will continue to be there. Hasta la vista. Oh yeah, I know. It seems interesting, and I like Clint Eastwood, so yeah, it is. And you know what? I want to ask you. I want to mention something to you guys. When I was at Lit RPG Con, and maybe I've already mentioned this already in passing, but I talked with Jonathan McLean and asked him if I could do like an interview or something with him talking about his experience working on the outfit. And at first I was just going to do a sit down recorded interview. And then I decided, you know what? Maybe I'll do a live stream because even though I don't draw huge numbers in my live streams compared to some other channels, there will probably be some interaction and some questions from the crowd that maybe I won't think about. And it feels like that might be the way to go. So if you think that's something that you guys would tune in for, let me know. And I can always just take what I've done and condense it down to just make just a singular video without some of the pauses or whatever. But he's very easy to talk to, and his story about working on the outfit was really cool. The bit that he told me, and I know there was more to talk about, but we talked about so many other things instead of just that. I really want to hear more about his work with Dylan O'Brien. I recently saw a movie with Dylan O'Brien. My review for Twinless went up today, which I saw on Saturday. And I really like him. He's very talented, and I would like to talk more about, his process of working with Dylan. He did tell me a little bit about it already, so it was kind of cool. But I think a live stream might be better. I think it might be more interactive, not just my questions, but y'all's questions. And if you haven't seen the outfit yet, watch it. It's very good. It was one of my favorites of the year that it came out, which was 2022, I believe. Very good. Very good. Well, I appreciate the stalking, Sashi. It's always great to see you in the chat, really. It's so cool to know that there's all these people out in the world that we're able to interact with about the things that we love. So your students are Dragon fans. I will put out a poll about Dungeon Crawl and let them know. I know people who voice the story itself. They will think I'm yeah, they might. Tell them if they need an autograph. That's funny. I will show up if I'm lurking on YouTube. I love the outfit. That was a great mystery movie, and I love the conclusion. Yeah, I did too. It was so good. It was so good. And they are thinking about making that a play starring Mark Rylance. This is what Jonathan told me. So that'd be cool. Okay, this is my very long, again, goodbye. It's after 9. I kind of expected it would go, quite a bit longer than an hour. But yeah, I'm going to go watch some stuff. So I'm going to wrap this up for now. I appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for joining, and look forward to seeing you in the chats of whatever streams I'll be on this week and in the weeks to come. Y'all take care. Bye.